All right, folks, this is the first Zoom interview I did with Chandler. Make sure you follow him on social media. He just updated the name of his YouTube channel, Tyler Perry Entertainment. He's going to be starting new content on his channel in regards to reviews, discussion, and theories. Not too dissimilar from what you've seen us kind of discuss in our IG lives or, conversations that I've brought up here in certain videos. So make sure you follow him on his social media platforms and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Go down to the top comment and I'll be sure to list all those things there for you to follow him and, hit him up because he's looking to start live streams of his own on Instagram with other fans because that's something I've enjoyed doing myself, interacting with other fans, getting their thoughts on certain shows and movies and things that I review on the channel just to kind of spice things up. So once again, go to the top comment that I'll pin to the top and I'll have links to his Twitter, YouTube channel, and Instagram. Thanks so much and enjoy.
And boom. Okay. All right, let me do a brief intro real quick. Yeah. Hello, have and have not fans. The first official Zoom interview that isn't on Instagram live or pre-recorded on any other platform than Zoom. We are going to pretty much knock over a lot of different subjects. If you are familiar with the Jeremy Chandler Instagram lives, then you know this will go all over the place. Now, we'll start off possibly have and have nots. Then we'll go over to Greenleaf. Then we'll go over to possibly real world stuff like music and maybe a little dash of COVID, wearing our mask, of course. And if you're looking at me on camera, don't worry about the mess in the background. Those are boxes full of things I'm selling on eBay. So without further ado, here's Chandler, and he can pick whatever topic he would like for us to discuss.
Yes, sir. Well, hello, God. It's nice to see you all again. And I would like to start off with talking about the haves and the have-nots. Now, I agree with what you said earlier, Jeremy, in the Instagram Live. I'm happy that we're getting a 2-hour event, but I'm with you. If we get, I want us to get episodes that are actually good. I don't want us to get dull episodes.
Yeah, I mean, typically when it comes to these 2-episode events, one episode's usually good and then the other one's a bit dull. Case in point, the first episode of season 4 of If Loving You Is Wrong last year, Let It Burn. It wasn't a bad episode, but the ending was so good that it's like, what were they saying? Like, hey guys, I know we pushed back the original return date, but what we're going to do is have a 2-night event because of the fact that the ending of the first one is so good, we don't want you to wait. And of course, that's when Kelly hung herself. Well, actually, excuse me. When Eddie told Lucian that Kelly was dead. So it was like, wait, what? So we jumped to Wednesday night and we got the conclusion for that. Then I guess the most recent example would be the Oval, where they had the back-to-back finale, where I thought episode 24 was better than the actual finale, but both of them jammed well together. But with the haves and the have-nots, they didn't have the best run at the beginning of 2020, and that's what really has people concerned. But to be completely honest here, a lot of the same people who I remember were in the same boat as us, talking about how lackluster the opening of season 7 was, are now praising, thank God our show's back. I can't wait until August 25th. Okay, yeah, keep that same energy.
Which is very ironic. Yeah. Which is very ironic because, we say the first one is usually good and the second one's usually dull. It's kind of ironic because based on the 2 synopses we have for 11, which is Power of Attorney, and 12, which is One Way or Another, I'm excited. I'm glad we're getting a 2-hour event, but I would have to say I'm more pumped based on the 2 synopses. I'm more pumped for One Way or Another than I am Power of Attorney.
Yeah, when we're just talking about Hannah getting, answers to questions she has, I mean, that begs the question, will the episode pick up where we left off? I think what has me a bit confused is, we got to think about how many shows have been on air in terms of discussion and reviews since the haves and the have-nots went off. I mean, Sisters, The Oval, Bruh, Ruthless, Greenleaf, and If Loving You Is Wrong. So it feels a bit awkward, you know, considering how random the cliffhanger was for the haves and the have-nots, and then to pick up where we left off there. Like, do you think we're going to pick up where we left off with Benny realizing the connection between, you know, Derek and Hannah and Candace?
I do hope we pick up there, but like you just said, I don't know where that came from. It just came out of nowhere, and it kind of ended abruptly. It just like with Benny, just like, you know, snapping his finger. Oh, that's Derek the Lion tattoo, and then it goes off. So it's just like, where in the world did that come from?
Matter of fact, you know, do you think they'll throw a curveball and actually pick up at the jail with Wyatt, since that was the beginning of the finale? Because I remember, what was it, like the first 7 to 12 minutes was Wyatt and Catherine, and then after that, we never saw those two in the finale again.
You know what? To tell you the truth, I actually wouldn't mind that this time. This time, I think I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Not to mention, if you want to throw another doozy in there, let's move on to the potential cliffhanger of episode 11, knowing that 12 is, well, Mama Rose and Maloma related. Imagine if the cliffhanger is, you know, Catherine meeting her new cellmate.
This is your, yeah. New cellmate, Mama Rose.
Because a lot of people are asking, you know, it's pretty much two hefty questions between, you know, the haves and the have-nots promo / synopsis along with Greenleaf. Who's Daryl James' father? But another question is, how did Mama Rose get in jail? How did she get arrested?
Exactly. I wonder if she's there after somebody.
I don't know. Some people have actually made valid points like, wait, what if it has to do with the Jennifer Salison thing? And plus, people have also said, well, we know the feds were looking into the Malones. What if they arrest her? And like, I'm not an expert in this, but if the feds arrest you, would they just put you in the local jail, or would they take you somewhere a little more, well, higher than the county jail? I guess is the best way to put it, like a federal jail.
If you have the feds involved, usually they're going to take you somewhere higher than the county jail. But the whole Jennifer Salison thing, what do you mean in terms of to find out what she could about Jennifer Salison's murder?
No, somebody was saying this in the live. They were just saying, oh, because the Malones connected, like, you know, the Malones were the ones who dumped the body at the news station or whatever. I mean, unless you got like DNA or video surveillance, the only connection the Malones had was simply removing the body from Jim and Catherine's house, cleaning up the place, and if memory serves, the original. What?
Ooh. So, if Mama Rose is in jail due to the whole Jennifer Salison thing, is it going to be a situation where, now, Catherine, you killed her. You killed her, and we had to dispose of the body. So I'm in here because of you. You owe me.
I can see that, but I don't know why, but sounds like there's an echo when I talk or something. I don't know what's going on there.
I don't hear that.
Weird. I kind of do on my end. Let's see. Okay, now it's fine. Yeah, because I stopped talking because of that feedback, but it's gone now. I was saying that, okay, yeah, so the original plan, so here's what we do know. The Malones removed the body, they cleaned up the house, and the plan was to take the body to Jennifer's house and have it set up where, oh, one of the people who got out that was arrested by Jennifer is getting a job at a dry cleaners, which happens to be owned by the Malones as a front. So they will be having him deliver, you know, clothes.
Mama Rose, to be more specific.
What?
Mama Rose, to be more specific, because David said owns a cleaners, which is controlled by Mama Rose.
Yeah. I just said the Malones there. But it's just the fact that they were going to arrange it for this random dude who could have had beef with Jennifer would be accused of, you know, arson by setting her place on fire, and that's where the body would be. But, you know, the whole Warlock thing, oh, he shot at my grandson. That was the reason why, oh, yeah, we're going to teach you a lesson. We're going to remind you who, you know, how basically you don't want to cross me, Jim. dumps the body off at the news station. So yeah, that's actually a very good cause for friction between Mama Rose and Catherine. It's like, I really like the idea of what you just said, like Mama Rose being pissed off that she's in jail potentially because of the woman sitting next to her. But then you have Catherine who's distraught over Wyatt. And here's my thing. Obviously, she does have a gun, but what if we see the same Catherine versus Mama Rose as the same Catherine that shot Jennifer and threatened Veronica? That I would like to see.
That I would love. And then another thing, potentially, if you want to even take it another level, could it be like, your husband is messing with my grandson's friend. If you know what's good for him, you'll tell him to leave her alone and let this go. Let the money go.
Oh, you know Catherine ain't going to back down on that. Anything that's number 9 related, oh, she's going to go in. And you ain't got Hannah there to try to shut her up. Like, Miss Cryer? That's Catherine? That's my child. Like, ain't none of that around here.
No, and it's not going to be, it's my child. It's going to be, it's my grandson. And if you don't let this go, you and your whole family will be dead.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because of the point that, you know, Mitch has just been burning the candle at 3 ends, not 2. Given the fact that he's trying to say, oh, yeah, I will lie and say something to my grandmother to piss her off about you. And then we all know how, you know, my grandmother is about family, especially when it comes to me. So I feel like Mitch is going to end up, you know, paying for his deception at some point.
Either paying for his deception or he's going to get somebody in trouble where they don't need to be.
That's definitely Mitch's thing. It's like anytime Mitch tries to do something to help, he makes it worse. Case in point, setting up Warlock to be arrested, even though he didn't know Candace had that handle.
Exactly. And look what happened for Quincy Jr.
Yeah, I know some people are still thinking that it's shady how he died, but no, it just happened. I mean, I don't really see anything. Yeah, I mean, Jim could taunt Candace all he wants, but that makes no damn sense. But then again,
honestly, bro, I don't think Jim had anything to do with it. I think that was just talk.
Yeah, but there are just some people who are so dead set on trying to justify it. I'm like, there have been plenty of things in the show that have not made sense, but at the end of the day, it's all how Tyler Perry writes it. But yeah, I have no plans on going in depth on that. I think he was just talking out of his behind to make Candace feel bad since he himself lost a child in the midst of their war, if you will, no pun intended.
Oh. And then if Vinny finds out that Mama Rose is in jail sitting next to the mother of the man who almost killed him, that might not go over too well either.
Does Mama Rose even, well, then again, she's been gone so long.
Bro, we don't know what Mama Rose knows and what she doesn't at this point because she's been gone for 3 years.
Because I was about to say, what if she knew about Wyatt almost killing one of her relatives? It's like, and you're sitting in the same cell as the mother. I don't know.
If she taunts Catherine about Wyatt being dead, oh, well, what goes around comes around. Your son is dead because he tried to kill my son. Kind of like a Candace Quita situation with the whole Quincy Jr. thing in jail. Ooh, that might not end up too well.
Is Vinny Mama Rose's son? I honestly forgot the family tree. All
I know is Michael Malone is Mitch's father. Vinny Malone is Mitch's uncle. Mama Rose is Mitch's grandmother. So you probably would assume that Mama Rose is Vinny's mother. And when he's talked about it before, he's said Mama. So you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably ask Vinny to see, hey man, can you help me out? What's the Malone family tree look like? It's been so freaking long.
Yeah.
I want to be honest here. Like when it comes to the halves, I'm just sick of the whole Wyatt. Well, the whole Wyatt, Candace money thing and the Charles thing. I have no interest in. The whole feds going after Candace is a bit stale. That's all I really got to say about the haves and the have-nots. So the Mama Rose in jail has me intrigued, and that's honestly all I care about right now.
Me too. And the whole Veronica Laura thing, I am interested on how that's going to play out.
I think I think I said this after the finale, but I feel like they rushed the Laura being revealed as a conniving thief along with her husband. Because I really would like the idea of her being played up to be this good innocent character who's being caught up in a big game that is way over her head, and as a result she's possibly going to die, then bust out on, oh wow, she's no better than a lot of other characters in the show, so she dies, oh well. No, you literally just expose that she's a con artist, and if she dies, we honestly shouldn't have any remorse for her.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And then the whole Jeffrey, Justin, Madison crap, don't care. Benny, don't care.
Not only do I not care, I don't want it.
Yep. And let's see, that's honestly it. I mean, in terms of characters, I mean, the big question is, who's going to die? This is allegedly the deadliest season. Will characters face consequences for their actions? And that's all I have to say until we get a full-length trailer.
Yeah, I hope that we get one, and we'll segue into this now. I hope we get one during the Greenleaf finale next week.
Yeah, and just one last thing I wanted to point out, because I know people keep asking, I really don't believe Tinka Sumter is leaving the show. Yes, she's doing Mixed-ish. Yes, they announced Sonic 2, but they film stuff so quickly at Tyler Perry Studios now that it's ridiculous. So, guys, just because someone's working on another show doesn't mean they're leaving. I mean, what was it? Antoinette, she confirmed in a recent Q&A on Instagram that, Dear White People was such a big hit, blowing up. That's why she opted to leave the haves and the have-nots, which kind of sucks considering what they announced that season 3 would be the last season, I think.
Exactly. And Hannah was in, oh my goodness, shoot. What was that show she was in?
Was it Little Big Minds or something like that?
Little Big Mind, yeah, something like that, or Pretty Little Liars or something like that.
No, it was big. It was Little Big or Big Little Mind, something like that. She wanted Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah, Big Little Mind, that was it. But my point on that was she was in that, and she didn't leave the haves and the have-nots. Yeah,
and there are just so many other examples. So just because somebody's in a show or movie, don't just assume they're going to leave. At most, they might have a reduced role in the show. Their character might not have the most exciting arc, but at the same time, they're still going to be there. But
like John Schneider with Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. So, guys, that's pretty much all I got to say on there. Even though I did want to do a brief segue to one of the videos and posts I need to make about an oval have-not crossover.
And especially with Tyler Perry filming as fast as he does, it doesn't really mean anything that they're on another show, because the way he films is so fast that person could be there for just 1 day or 2 days and then do what they have to do and then leave and go to wherever they need to go to film something else.
Yep. But let's see here. Yeah, the oval have and have not crossover, that'd actually be pretty fun.
It would be fun, but I think it would kind of be null and void since the oval is about the White House, and now you have Charles in the White House. It kind of would defeat itself.
Here's my thing with that continuity. The haves and the have-nots would not have to line up with the show. What they could do is simply make it where have and have-not characters could pop up on the oval, but they don't have to be the same characters from the haves and the have-nots. For example, the Criers could show up and Amanda could still be alive. We've talked about in private. Definitely would be a great way to have the Malones and Catherine's family be part of the 5 families. That is very plausible. I can see that happening.
Or the haves and the have-nots, or it could be where the haves and the have-nots shows up on Hunter shows up, or the haves and the have-nots. Charles could show up on the oval as a previous president.
Exactly. It's free range, and I wouldn't even be a stickler for it, because sometimes crossovers don't have to make a lick of sense and you love them. For example, going back to childhood, even though it's corny as hell now, it was great. Power Rangers in space meet the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Exactly. I remember those days.
Yeah, and then in the comic books,
And I dare say now Ruthless in the Oval, because they don't make sense a lot of times either, according to timeline.
I would be more accepting of the haves and the have-nots, even though my mind would have to take more liberties, because the problem is they really hyped up Ruthless as being the spin-off connected to the Oval, but they've already made so many continuity errors, so that's why I'm more strict on that. But yeah, the Oval and Ruthless, yeah, that posted well, and I do think that the haves and the have-nots has a lot of potential. Like, for example, we're talking about characters who have been killed off from not just the haves and the have-nots, but various other shows. It wouldn't be impossible for Tyler Perry to write other roles for them in the show. Like, who knows? Peter Parros, yes, he's still in the haves and the have-nots. Who says he couldn't be like a senator or congressman on the Oval or something along those lines?
Exactly. Or who's to say that Senator Conley Westlake didn't work closely with Hunter when he was in the governor's mansion or something like that?
Yeah, we are. I remember making that video about the fact that Hunter and Wyatt look alike. Why couldn't Aaron O'Connell play one of Hunter's relatives, like a distant cousin or something like that?
Or it could be, or Hunter could come on like the haves and the have-nots and be like, Wyatt's
No. I don't want no. I don't think that would work for me. Like, I'd rather have guest stars, characters that the haves and have-nots guest star on the Oval. Since the haves and the have-nots, I feel like the show's going to end by season 9. I want to be completely honest here.
I do too. Like it could be like maybe Hunter comes and he's one of Catherine's brothers or something.
Wyatt's uncle? That could possibly work.
Yeah.
What did Tinka say? Candace say? Catherine has 3 siblings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Divided up among 4 children, and we know that one of them is a sister because we know in season 1, Catherine references Jim sleeping with her sister. So.
That's my biggest question here. Like, where did Wyatt and Amanda's inheritance come from? Like,
their grandfather.
No, I know it came from the grandfather, but was that taken from the chunk of money that Catherine's father gave her? Or that was confusing to me. Because I know he said
all I know is that the money was left to them by the grandfather, given, and they were supposed to get it when they were 18, and the rest of his estate, said by Candace, the rest of his estate was to be split up among 4 children, Catherine included.
Yeah, I wonder if those other siblings have children of their own and they possibly have a piece of the inheritance.
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. And yeah. I'm sure they probably do.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Let's see here. But that's all I got for the haves and the have-nots. And going to Greenleaf, I still have no idea about Daryl James' father. Like, I have no idea who that is.
I don't even know if I actually don't even know if it matters. Could it be Henry McCready?
Possibly. I know some people are like Mac, Bishop, Henry, just the list goes on, and I'm like, none of them make any sense. I mean, I agree with you.
I don't think it would be Bishop because Bishop is old enough to be Basie's father, so I would imagine that Daryl James and Bishop were close to the same age.
I agree.
Close to the same age.
It's just one of those things where it would be interesting to find out who the father was, because for all we know, this father could have been a Noah-like character where he and Mrs. Davis had a fling, not even an affair because she was never married, if I'm not mistaken, and she got knocked up, but he never knew about it. So maybe he just went about his way.
Well, we know Henry was a woman, so if it were him, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's an interesting dynamic to just drop that Daryl James was, well, her son. So we know it was a black person. So, I mean, who knows? And another thing to think about is the fact that the young man at the grave is going to be in this episode, but I mean,
Allegedly.
I think he will. I think I've been hearing whispers of certain things, but I don't know how true they are because I'm wondering if like they'll have a scene where we'll see Bishop's grave right next to Faith or near that Faith, and then Grace is there alone, and then maybe Bishop will appear, or maybe the young man will also appear, and it's like, what?
It could be Bishop as a young man. You never know.
What do you mean?
It could be Bishop, like Bishop's ghost coming to Grace as like a young man or something like that.
Why a young man?
I don't know, maybe to show like what AJ could be, or what AJ could turn out to be like, or what if it's AJ and it's like, I'm Bishop, I'm you as a young man. This is like Bishop as a young man coming to talk to AJ to give him advice, like, I know now what you should know, or something like that.
I see that as spin-off material.
Yeah, I do too. That would make for a good spinoff.
Yeah, because don't worry, we'll get to the spin-off in a second, but I'm just wondering, like, this final episode is going to be like a who's who, you know, like Patti LaBelle, Oprah Winfrey, you know, their characters showing up. But honestly, that's all I have to say about that because everything else in the episode was so straight on point. Now, the spinoff itself, since it's been a few days, I've been thinking about it. I don't think Zora and Sophia would be a bad idea, in theory.
It wouldn't be a bad idea, but what could really come from it? Because Zora really doesn't have much of a storyline. She's not one of those characters like May or Grace or Bishop that actually had a really. She was there, but she didn't have, I will say, as much of an impactful storyline. I guess you could, not impactful, but it wasn't as frequent. It wasn't as there. You get what I'm saying?
No, I agree. It's just like I thought about what exactly was Greenleaf for? Like to show that no Christian is perfect. Everyone has skeletons in their closet. Everyone has dirt, you know, on their squeaky clean portrait they call their life or success. And I just think that maybe Bishop's death was definitely the catalyst for new beginnings for everyone. And I think that what they could do with the spinoff is really show the next generation tackling the real world. They're not in Memphis anymore. They're no longer in their church setting. They're out in the real world. And to be honest, that resonated with me, probably because of all the Liberty University talk going on today. It just really reflected on how it was for me, like going from a Christian bubble to a non-Christian bubble. Yeah, I'm still in Lynchburg, but just like the remembering the times of being at home for a break during the semester and then noticing things like, wow, you know, people certainly don't dress like this at Liberty, or they talk a certain way, or they do things that aren't acceptable on campus. So imagine like the goody two-shoes Sophia with the wild child Zora getting into mischief. And I guess what the show could really focus on is them facing the challenges and finding themselves out in the real world without their family to really be there to back them up. So it's really a story of, will they be able to use the lessons that their family taught them in order to survive out there? So it does have potential. Go ahead.
Will they be able to use the lessons? And it would also be interesting to see who would have the most influence on who. Would it be like Sophia being like, oh, yeah, I'm away from let me get a little wild. Let me do what my cuz is doing. Or could it be like a Zora? Could it be like, you know, maybe I should follow Sophia. Maybe I should kind of slow down a little bit, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So we can definitely see some development there. And I mean, the question is, will AJ go with them?
Like we said before, I don't think that AJ would, because he's just now getting to know his own family.
Yeah,
so
I
probably
agree.
not. Like we've said before, probably not.
See, here's what I would think. If Grace and Noah got together, because in the trailer it looks like we're going to see Noah and AJ find their place close to Noah's mom's house. And let's say if Grace and And also something to keep in mind, when the spinoff happens, it doesn't have to take place directly after the finale of Greenleaf. Like it could be several months later or a year later.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So at that point, let's say theoretically, AJ's gotten accustomed to his family, and maybe this would be a good step for everyone to move forward. Like again, if Noah and Grace decided to get together, nothing against Darius, but let's say Noah and Grace decided to get back together, then they could get used to an empty nest, so to speak. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Oh, my
Okay.
camera went off. Sorry about that.
No worries. But oh, there you go. But yeah, it's like I could see it where AJ goes out on the adventure. Then it's like what if he tries to be an overprotective brother? But then Sophia's like, look, I didn't need an older brother then. I don't need one now. And you could see some friction between those two. So I feel like it's potential. But the problem is when you take a few characters, 2 to 3 characters who really didn't drive the story that much in the main series, then you're going to be surrounded with a bunch of new characters and possibly returning old faces. I don't know if the series could actually, stand on its own.
Probably not. I don't really think it could.
Yeah, and
but
like I said,
now, Desiree didn't we say this? Well, never. The spinoff would be like focused on women.
They said that they are looking at it being focused on the women of Greenleaf, which honestly, that's pretty much Greenleaf.
Yeah, good. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, because it is a women-driven show.
Mm-hmm. So it's just one of those things where I feel that there's a lot of potential, but it depends on how it's done. I mean,
or you know what? I wouldn't even be against it being a backstory. Could like the spinoff be like a backstory of like how, because it's been referenced a lot in this season, like how May and Bishop actually started the church with the first thing being the 92-year-old woman and 40 years and getting the church. So could the spinoff be a backstory where we have Daryl James and Mrs. Davis and possibly whoever Daryl James's father is, and them getting the church? And I wouldn't be against that.
Same here, but would they just have younger actors, or would they kind of like use makeup and whatnot to make the current actors look younger?
I wouldn't be against them being like younger actors, but like having the older actors tell the story as it goes on.
Kind of like what was that show? Love Is, right? Where you had the older versions and then they told it. That actually would work for me. I mean, considering Love Is got canceled, I feel like that format would actually be pretty well done. I would love that.
Like maybe Lady May sitting down was like a reporter, or maybe possibly, let's just say in the future she's talking to some, or what if she's talking to like Winky, or what if she's talking to like, let's just say she's talking to Sophia, or she's sitting around the table talking to just different family members. Or what if it's like, okay, let's just set the stage. AJ is getting to know the family, and Lady May is sitting down talking to AJ, and it's like, okay, well, here's what happened. This is how me and your grandfather started this church. And and she's going and she's talking to AJ, but at the same time, they're going back in time, showing, modeling what actually happened.
I mean, that works, or it could just be a documentary style where it's like, with Calvary being reborn, so to speak. They thought it would be a good idea to kind of do a documentary or chronicle the journey of Bishop and May when it came to the first church. So, it could be focused on telling the story of Calvary for future generations. So it doesn't necessarily have to be her talking with AJ or Sophia or whatever, but I would love it if it isn't just May now, because this, like, let's say this spinoff has multiple seasons. Like, let's say the first season is really focused on, how May and Bishop got started and whatnot, younger version of themselves. And then as the spinoff goes on, you can have almost every character come in, try pretty much telling it, like Grace giving up AJ, her relationship with Noah, Charity talking about her journey, and Jacob. So it could be, there is potential in that. Yeah, I'll definitely make a post about that, or even like try to do a separate video. But that is a very good way of putting a spinoff where I feel like it would respect the OG series and kind of fill in the gaps for unanswered questions.
Yeah, and not only that, I actually like it, and paying tribute to Bishop in a way, if he really is dead.
Yeah, because it would be a way like if we talk about the good times and how we started all the rough patches, that would be great. So yeah, that would be
Well,
a
what if
perfect
it's
way.
like a funeral? What if it's like like if it's like, say it's a year or something after, celebrating
Yes.
the anniversary after Bishop's death, and then it goes back, and May is going back and telling the story. Well, this is how your father and I met. This is how your father and I got started. This is how your father and I came into the church. Things like that.
That would work. I like that idea. And because the original actors wouldn't have to do that much, it could just be them doing their thing, voiceover work and whatnot. And
And then we
because
could have like a kid Lionel, like the show. It could go down and through the history and show kid Grace, kid
yeah,
kid Jacob, kid Charity, kid Faith, and go down through and show the affair that happened between May and Lionel, and even the affair that happened between James and Mavis.
yeah, there's so many ways that can go down to really make a person go back and, hey, you know what? I need to watch this episode again from the old series to really follow along with all the drama. So I think that would be a great way to give the fans something. They want more Greenleaf, but at the same time, yeah, don't go beyond that season 5 because you said it would end at 5, and that should definitely be the way it ends. I mean, yeah, I like that. That's honestly all I got to say on that. That's a great way of doing a spinoff.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. We could even go back to Mac and him being a kid and his mama, and just seeing him being why he is the way he is,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a great way to make you learn a person's quirks. That's the perfect way of doing it. Like that doesn't mean you have to like them, but you definitely have a better understanding of who they are and what they do when it comes to the real series. Now, yeah, that's honestly all I got for Greenleaf. The other video I'll do is, like questions and storylines to resolve, but sometimes I don't know if they can do it all in this one episode coming up because I wouldn't say that Greenleaf has the atrocious number of unresolved character arcs and storylines as if Loving You is wrong, but there are some questions that we're still wondering about that, we hope get even a nod to in the finale.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Apparently, Tyler released a video going over the Madea play, and apparently he's not done with Madea, is what I'm hearing.
I've heard that too, but I haven't actually seen the video yet.
Yes.
I was going to go check it out whenever we get done, but I think it's on his Facebook page.
Yeah, it's on all of his social media, and like you, again, the Jerry thing just boom. That's all I've been looking into this evening, but I'll check that out. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Madea projects are in the future. Like, will he pop in on some of his current shows? Maybe a new show, maybe a new movie, maybe a new play. I don't know.
I would not be well. That probably wouldn't happen. Madea having her own TV show.
I don't know.
I don't know if Tyler Perry would have Madea in her own show, so to speak.
I'm just trying to think. I feel like let me put it this way. It would make the most sense because I would see either a Madea show or movie because I'm thinking of like pandemic wise, the theaters and everything like that. I would think we would probably be more likely to see Madea in her own show than in a movie or play.
Yeah, Yeah,
even if Tyler could do a freaking COVID-19 quarantine movie where the movie could take place in the freaking house and that's it, that could work. And I pitched that way back when this whole pandemic started.
if that were going to be the case, I'd say he would probably do that in play form.
Yeah. And I mean, well, the thing about the play thing is, well, obviously people can't
Audience,
go out
yeah.
to see it. Just like the whole movie thing, I was thinking about people can't go out to see it. That would be a great way to get people to get BET Plus.
Exactly, like you said in the promo, you don't even have to leave your house. And Medea's got says, "Back up, that coronavirus everywhere."
Exactly. So I mean, if Tyler did a Madea movie of her being stuck in the house, he would film that in like a day, not even 5.
Yeah,
So I
not
see
even
that
5.
working. Yep. But that's honestly all I got right now. I mean, here's hoping that on Tuesday during the finale we get a full-fledged Have and Have Not trailer, and if so, that will be a wild night. Greenleaf finale and then an actual trailer. Oh gosh, that would be wild.
I always mention to see too, me being a music person, what songs they use in these trailers. Because like last time it was Aretha Franklin.
Yeah. And typically the songs kind of foreshadow certain things that happen, but we'll have to wait and see. That's for sure. I know that the Haves and the Have-Nots premiere night, I want to try to watch that live. So tweets and notes. And on that night, I will definitely do a YouTube live right after the episodes. That way people will be like going nuts because I want to talk about it. Then on the 26th, that'll be the review day. And we'll see what happens from there because that begs the question. Let's see. If we get an actual trailer before the episodes air, then I guess that means on the 25th when we get a trailer, it'll be for episode 13. I guess that's how they do it. I don't know.
If they, I wonder if it'll be. It'd be kind of dumb to do it after because they'd be showing scenes from the past 2 episodes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would just be redundant. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. But anything else before we close out?
Yeah, let's just hope that. I just wonder, like, when Tyler Perry goes to film, like, season 9. I'm actually really interested to see how season 9 will look when it comes time to film that. And if he might even put some, like, COVID-19 pandemic in it.
I mean, theoretically, that would not work at all timeline-wise because they are nowhere near the year 2020. But whatever, it's Tyler Perry writing. They can do anything.
Like the Oval season 2. Are they done now? Because today's Friday, so if they're not done, they're probably pretty close to being done.
They're close, I believe, because I think Gail in real life was on a plane going somewhere, so maybe she's finished filming.
Maud sent her away.
I know that Andrew's actor is at Tyler Perry Studios. He made a post today from Tyler Perry Studios, so.
Hey, well, that makes me happy. I guess that confirms that he doesn't die in season 1. So.
Yep. I mean, he could either be there doing Oval stuff, or he could be there doing early readings for Ruthless season 2. I don't know.
I don't know that Tally is there yet.
Who?
Tally.
No, I don't think so. Because technically she should. Nope, not going there. Don't want to think about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if she's there, I'm going to probably flip out.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, that's all I got for today. And if you enjoyed this Zoom, don't worry. There were actually a couple interviews with cast. Car alarm for somebody. Jeez. Anyway. Yeah. So.
Well, I enjoy this, and we'll have to do it again sometime, maybe.
Yeah, just thinking like Greenleaf and that. Unless a trailer comes next week, I mean, I can't think of anything else that's coming out between now and, well, the Haves and the Have-Nots returning.
No, and well, see, the Haves and the Have-Nots is return. See, when when this stuff comes, it's gonna take off because we got the haves and the have-nots returning, and then 2 days after that, we've got the Madea farewell tour. And if I'm not mistaken, doesn't it have all new characters except for Madea, Cora Brown, and not Bam?
I believe so.
I don't think we've seen any actors or actresses that we have seen before.
Nah.
And it doesn't have a name, isn't it? Just called the Madea farewell tour.
Yeah, that's it. Medea's farewell. That's all it is.
It's
kind of dumb when you think about it, since he's literally announced he's not done with Madea. But whatever.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, what does that mean? Does that mean that it's his last? Maybe it's Medea's last tour.
I mean, look at how many times people have retired from rap and then they just came back. So, plus this
What
was
it
like,
might mean by this is it's Medea's last actual play. There will be more Madea, but it's actually the last time she's going on tour.
I would not be surprised if he took Madea out on tour post-COVID. I mean, Madea is a cash cow. Plus, he's always said he never gave up his love of the stage. Plus, he even talked about building like a theater on Tyler Perry Studios. So
If he
even
did that, then it would have to be called the Madea farewell tour. Star. Oh, just kidding. Star.
no, he would just name. I mean, how many times did Jay-Z said he would retire from rap and then came out with a new album? It wouldn't. People would not care.
He didn't name his album, Jay-Z farewell or Jay-Z goodbye or this is it or anything.
So I mean, it could be Madea it doesn't matter. It's something that's popular in media. Somebody announces this is my last project. Case in point, rest in peace. If Michael Jackson did not die, this is it. He would have done something else. Because
speaking of Madea, there was a new single. Are you subscribed to Man TV on YouTube?
Nope.
Tamala Mann and David Mann's channel.
Yeah, I know of it. I'm just not subscribed to it.
Tamala Mann just released a new song called "A Touch from You."
Did she post that on social media? Because I think I saw something about that.
She did. Yeah, she did. I just didn't know about it, but it's good. It's really good. Yeah. But I like how in these plays, Cora actually sings songs that are actually written and sung by Tamala Mann in real life.
Yeah, that's cool. It's just one of those things where you show creativity. I was actually watching an unsung episode of Cheryl Pepsi Riley, and I think I stopped it around the time they talked about her experiences with Tyler Perry. But yeah, Tyler talked about building a theater on the Tyler Perry studio lot. So theoretically, if Madea doesn't go out on the actual tour, I wouldn't be surprised if a Madea play is not performed at that studio. Even better.
I would really like to see what that would look. I think that would look really good.
Even better is the fact that, building his own theater, we know for a fact he's going to film it, so he could definitely film stuff and have that released on DVD. So theoretically, if Tyler Perry never wanted to go on tour again, because let's be real, I'm not saying this whole COVID thing is going to last forever, because it's not, but given the fact that there will be people who have reservations about going to movie theaters and everything, being able to have your own theater to film at and then release those performances, well, to use the example, Hamilton. It was a Broadway play that was filmed and Disney bought it and it blew up. Now, I'm not saying Madea is Hamilton, but Madea is certainly a cash cow. So I definitely see Tyler Perry.
No pun intended, because she is a cow.
Boo. But it's just like I can see him having shows and filming them and pretty much him not leaving his own home, which is Tyler Perry Studios. So I think that's a definite perk there.
And if I'm not mistaken, doesn't he live on the grounds?
Honestly, I do not know.
Or if not, it's close to it.
Oh, definitely. Doesn't he have more than like one house? I could be wrong about. Well, he freaking owns an island, so.
I think he does. And but yeah, what I was going to say earlier is we have 1 week after the Greenleaf finale. We pretty much have basically 1 week of nothing, and then we pretty much hit the ground running because we've got the 2-hour premiere, season 7, 2-hour season premiere of the Haves and the Have-Nots on the 25th. Then on the 27th, we have the Madea Farewell Tour coming out. And then not even a week later, we've got 2 episodes of House of Pain and 2 episodes of Assisted Living. So we pretty much, once the 25th comes, it's on. We've got things going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I might actually do Assisted Living and House of Pain, where I just do like 1 episode review per show, especially if we get 2 episodes every single week, for simplicity's sake.
I really don't think it will. I really think that's just going to be for the first week.
Yeah, can't wait to find out what's going to happen with that. But we shall see in the near future.
And then somewhere along in there, we'll probably get, because like, of course, we'll get Sisters in October. We'll get Ruthless and Bruh sometime potentially, I would say, in September or October. So.
Yeah. But, yeah, I definitely see House of Pain and Assisted Living going on hiatus at some point, especially if the Oval drops as well during the fall at some time.
Didn't we figure it up? It would probably be around Thanksgiving when they went on hiatus.
Yeah, theoretically, if they played 2 episodes a week, because that'll be the mid-season, they'll be around episode 12 or 13.
Yeah.
But that's only if they did 2 new episodes a week.
Well, I don't know. Let's see. 8 episodes. If they come around September 2nd, November 2nd would be about 2 months, which would be about 8 episodes. And Thanksgiving's at the end of November, so that would be about 3 months, which could potentially be 12. That's September, October, November. Towards about the end of November, that's about 11 or 12 weeks. So even if they did 1 episode a week, that would still be around about 12 weeks. So,
yeah, but the problem with that is the fact that Sisters is supposed to come back in October, and the show would usually come on at 9 o'clock. And, you know, the whole House of Pain Assisted Living is a 2-hour block. That's the issue there.
no, well, and who's to say that they couldn't move Sisters to a different day or move House of Pain and Assisted Living to a different day once Sisters returned in October? Like, okay,
That'll be too messy.
Like Sisters came on instead of Wednesday, because you know they've done it with If Loving You Is Wrong before. They've moved it from Wednesday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Tuesday nights.
I only think they would do that if a lot of other shows aren't available due to the pandemic and they weren't able to film new episodes, because that would actually make sense. I don't think it would make sense for them to put up all that content and burn through it so quickly, because Tyler Perry making it like that. So if it would be a smart move to actually shift some of the shows to another night to provide entertainment, but just looking at how people react to schedule changes on OWN, I think it will be very confusing for some people, even though it will be a good move. I mean, here's another thing. If they did 2 episodes a night, I mean, the thing is there are 5 Wednesdays in September. So if they decided to run 2 episodes each week for each show, they would both be at a mid-season finale point by October the 7th, and then Sisters could return on October the 14th.
True, yeah.
That's how I see them potentially doing it, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens after the first week. But yeah, that's all I got on the list here, and I've definitely got to, because a lot of people have been demanding it, I will make Facebook groups for Bruh, Ruthless, House of Pain, and Assisted Living over the weekend.
I don't really see why there should be a Bruh Facebook group, but
I'm only doing it because in a way it kind of makes sense, because a bunch of my groups are currently obsolete because they're either canceled or the shows are on hiatus, but whatever.
Greenleaf, the Haves and the Have-Nots is getting ready to come back. That's going to be active.
That's the only group that matters right now. Sisters isn't coming back until October. The Oval, God knows when that's coming on. Greenleaf is about to end. If Loving You Is Wrong is over. So yeah, those groups right there are like, and Ambitions are obsolete.
May be over, but the hype sure ain't over.
No, plus I'm looking at the posts to be approved, and most of them are spam. So I'll just make the group to make them and see if anybody joins. It's really no big deal. I honestly don't do the work in those groups. I just let the post do the work and the people who join them do it.
Really, the only ones I'm part of are the Haves and the Have-Nots, Sisters, and the Oval.
Yeah, because the other groups
Have-Nots and the Oval, I mean.
Yeah. But let's see, it's 11 o'clock. Yeah, that's all I got. But guys, if you like this, let us know by hitting the like button and subscribing. More of these will be coming in the future. I have some other cast interviews lined up. They haven't been scheduled, but they definitely will happen. I will try to get at least one or two next week if possible, depends on availability. But aside from that, we will catch you in the next live at some point. Look, it's going to be a bit of a dry spell after the finale for Greenleaf, but that's okay because at the end of this month in September, the ball will be rolling once again.
Exactly.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, once again, thanks so much for tuning in. I will leave a link to Chandler's social media in the top comments so you can follow him on Instagram and Twitter, right? Because, you tweet as well during live shows.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. And we'll go from there. But thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and we will catch you later.
Yes, we will. Take care, everybody.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the interview. And like I said before, I'm going to try to do more of these with other fans as well to interact. I can't really specifically say when or how often I'll do these because number one, the haves and the have-nots is right around the corner. And not to mention the following week, we get Assisted Living in House of Pain. Then eventually, Ruthless and Bruh will be returning to BET Plus. And allegedly, Sisters will be coming back in October. I have no idea about the Oval's return. So every now and then, I'll pop up with different people. We'll talk. Not to mention the increase of cast interviews I'll be doing. So, yeah. So I will let you know when the next interview will be. And I don't know. Maybe me and somebody else will do a Zoom or Instagram. Like I said, it's like a new thing I'm trying out. So I can't really give you concrete dates of how many people will be on and that kind of stuff. But regardless, make sure you give a video a thumbs up, follow Chandler on his social media. Like I said time and time again, top comment below, you'll find the links there. Also, like and subscribe to this channel because if you haven't, then I don't know what to say for you at this point. And follow me on my social media, which will be in the description box below. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you all later.